being a Swiftie is it just hits different, you know? And so happy. So happy you're here. And
you mean it hits different?
Lee hee hee. Nailed it. Dang, that was like the best I've ever sounded.
Welcome to Hits Different.
Lee hee hee.
Hoo, 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 hoo.
I'm Ryan, and that's Molly.
In today's episode, we're going to talk about if Taylor Nation started teasing a new era.
And we know Taylor's music is always there for us in our hardest times. Today, we share stories about how the Tortured Poets Department is helping young Swifties.
Subscribe on YouTube or follow us wherever you're listening to this podcast. And you can also join our Patreon or our YouTube memberships to get some fun blooper content. The links to join will be in the description of this episode. If you didn't see the news, Taylor Nation shared a new reel of Taylor encouraging fans to go vote for her at the AMAs, where she's nominated for 6 awards like we talked about in our last episode. And this reel, it was a little interesting because this is what they said when they posted it. You already know, babe. Go vote for our princess at voteamas.com. Princess. Go vote for our princess, Ryan.
Not the chairman, which is the only way they've been referring to her for over a year now. Our chairman.
Yep.
Our chairman. Actually, I'm always so disappointed in myself that I never noticed these things from the get. And then people are like, they called her our princess. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, it sounds so jarring. How did I not notice that? You're like, our princess. What is this, love story? Taylor's version?
That's what it made me think of. It made
Going
me
back to
think
high
of
school?
Love Story. They used So High School. It also made me think of the viral clip of Taylor and Travis dancing at the Super Bowl after party last year, where they were dancing a love story, and he was like, you'll be the prince, and she's like, I'll be the princess. Are we gonna get princess vibes, or are we just totally overreading this situation? Like, is TS12 gonna be talking about how Taylor feels like a princess now? I love this for her.
Yeah, I know. It's really confusing because it's like, okay, that's an era we've already done. Going back to high school, reliving the Fearless, but it's like we got the Fearless cardigan. We keep getting So High School. We keep getting all these high school vibes. They keep playing So High School. They keep playing The Alchemy. And it's like, maybe instead of the pipe dream of getting a So High School music video, which we will probably not, it's actually all because, yeah, the next era is this coded. Tavis coded.
This coded. You already know, babe.
Also, aside from Taylor Nation's sus verbiage, the reel was kind of sus because it's just all of these clips of Taylor just saying how much she loves the fans and thank you to the fans, which I know she says all the time and it's obvious, but like, you know, we're not clowning that she's going to be at the AMAs, but like, I feel like this added fuel to the fire. It's like, so is she going to be there? Y'all are hyping us up. I didn't see a montage of this from like past award shows that, you know, we've been clowning for everyone the last year, and this was the only one they did this montage for.
Right. I feel like before the Grammys, they did get us hyped up of like, remember what happened at last year's Grammys? She announced Tortured Poets. Now here she is nominated for Tortured Poets, but then they didn't do that for iHeart. They encouraged the voting by the fans. But yeah, this reel made me very excited with the delusional possibility that maybe Taylor Swift will decide to make another public appearance and just add a bright spot to all of our lives.
Nobody's heard from me for months. I'm doing
better than I ever was.
Yeah, Molly reminded me earlier that Taylor has not been seen since the Super Bowl, technically. So that was a long time ago because it's almost June. I know May just started, but you know, halfway through the year.
Almost June.
Hey, man, we are literally actually almost at halfway through the year. Okay, I will keep saying that until it's actually here, and I'm like, see, time flies.
Let us know what you think of this reel. If you think Taylor might go to the AMAs, and make sure to go vote for her. We will link to that in the description of this episode. Now it's time for today's Tay Therapy segment. In case you're new to our show, Tay Therapy is where we share stories about how Taylor's music has impacted your life. And just a couple weeks ago, we celebrated the 1-year anniversary of the Tortured Poets Department being released. So we asked for your Tortured Poets themed Tay Therapy submissions.
Many of you shared how Tortured Poets was a lifeline for you when you felt alone. And today we wanted to share those stories. And our first is from Alana.
Alana says, "Hello, Ryan and Molly. My name's Alana. I'm 13 years old." Lucky number 13. I added that in. Lucky number 13. Back to what Alana wrote. "When the Tortured Poets Department dropped, I wasn't able to hear it the second it came out because I was in school. I had to sleep. I had to wait. torture, right? But little did I know it wasn't just an album. It was a secret double album. And when I found that out, oh my gosh. I was in class early in the morning and I got called out by my teacher. She looked at me and said, "Alana, did you hear?" And I said, "Hear what?" And then she told me it was a secret double album. I screamed so loud with excitement that the teacher in the next room literally came in to make sure we were alive. That moment, iconic.
Songs I love, like I Hate It Here, have become part of my school life. I literally sing that in the halls in my head, and somehow it's comforting. It lets me express what I've been feeling, especially with the way I used to protect my bully instead of myself. I never told anyone what was happening because I didn't want to upset him. I did not know what he might have been through, but know that I'm learning that it's okay to speak up. Thank you, Amy. And then there's The Bolter. That song didn't just inspire me, it lit a fire in me. I'm now writing an entire movie/novel based on it. And not writing, I'm going to direct it. It's going to be on Netflix. I'm 13 years old and I am not waiting until I'm older to chase my dreams. Taylor showed me that art can come from pain and it can be powerful.
Her lyrics speak to me on a deep level. My favorite line: "There's escape in escaping." That one hits hard. I used to have panic attacks at school. I'd run out of class just to breathe. And even then, I still kept quiet about being bullied. That line helped me realize that sometimes running isn't weakness, it's survival. It's finding your own escape until you're strong enough to face things head on. So yeah, this album wasn't just an album. It was a lifeline. It was a mirror. It was a push forward.
TTPD gave me strength, inspired my future, and helped me heal. It's part of my story now, a huge part. And I just want to say thank you, Taylor. You didn't just write songs, you changed lives. You changed mine. Parentheses, if this is on an episode, like and subscribe. Thanks, Alana. Thank you both for bringing color into my face and making me smile, just like Molly's grin. LOL. Heart, heart, heart. Okay, so what a little 13-year-old badass you are, and you are inspiring me as a long stan of The Bolter. The fact that you are gonna write a movie or novel based on it, go off. And just the way you speak, you sound like your confidence just like bleeds through your words, and it really is super inspiring. And like to come from being bullied and now to hear this side, it's really freaking cool.
I, for one, am already ready to buy this book or watch this on Netflix or wherever this ends up being. Like Ryan said, I'm so impressed by how you're trying to take this experience and turn it into something positive and into art. That's exactly what Taylor does. The other thing that popped into my head while we were reading this line that you wrote that said, sometimes you have to realize running isn't weakness, it's survival. It's finding your own escape until you're strong enough to face things head on. It made me think of It's Time to Go when Taylor writes, sometimes giving up is the strong thing, sometimes to run is the brave thing, sometimes walking out is the one thing that will find you the right thing. I never really thought about The Bolter and It's Time to Go of having some of those parallel storylines maybe until I saw Alana's submission. And yeah, I just want to say that if you have to remove yourself from a situation where you're being bullied or you don't feel safe, running is absolutely the strong thing. Walking out is the brave thing. Like, take care of yourself, take care of your own peace. And we're so sorry that you've been dealing with this at school, but so cool to see how you are trying to find a way to take the narrative back and write your own story.
Yeah, you are much braver at a much younger age before I ever figured any of that out. So you are crushing it. And thank you so much for writing in.
Also, thank you for writing in just like Molly's grin and that makes you smile, because believe it or not, my big face and my big cheeks, my big forehead were things that I got made fun of for and bullied for. So look, this is an example of like something that someone might be picking on you for. Someone else says that my smile might make them smile.
Our next submission is from Charlotte. So at the end of 2022, when I was in year 5, Australian schooling system, also shout out Australia, I met my best friend. We're still friends to this day and we're like sisters. She introduced me to Taylor. I actually had no clue who Taylor was at that time, since I was one of those kids who would listen to music but not pay attention to the artist or song titles. From there, I became a Swiftie, but unfortunately, my first year of high school wasn't the best. In high school, I was already being picked on for having ginger hair and blue eyes, but then I did a lip sync battle at my camp and did the clean version of Karma in front of the whole year level. Then the bullying got worse since people were saying that I was a Swiftie. I kept denying it, but I was just lying to myself. Of course, it hurt, especially since I had only just recovered from my trust being betrayed by all my friends in primary school and still to this day have trust issues. This bullying caused me to stop listening to Taylor in hopes that it would get better and make me fit in. It didn't. I tried to stay away from her music, but I couldn't. And whenever I did listen, I just felt like she understood me. When TTPD came out, I didn't care what people thought about my music. I mean, it's music and people have different taste. I listened to it on repeat through the toughest points of my life. It was hard since I thought I had no one to talk to.
That was around the time when I started listening to Taylor, You Guys, and TTPD, the anthology. It was and still is the album that I relate to the most. Taylor has really helped me through thick and thin. How Did It End? Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? I Hate It Here, and many more songs from TTPD have stuck with me, along with a few from Folklore, like This Is Me Trying. There are also songs like The Archer and Mean that I listen to. And if you're wondering, yes, the bullying is still unfortunately happening, but I have You Guys and Taylor to listen to. You guys have helped me through so much, as well as Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, and we love you. And you also sound like a little badass. You did a lip sync battle to Karma. I could never be brave enough to do that. In my dreams, I can barely do karaoke. A lot of times when people are bullying, it's because they have their own insecurities that they're just projecting onto other people. And it's really unfortunate. But know that it likely has nothing to do with you. And I'm just really proud that you seem to be pushing through it. Someday they'll realize that they really missed out on not listening to Taylor, all the while you had her in your back pocket.
It's sad in a way that we've come full circle like this, because I know a lot of people who grew up liking Taylor's music back in the debut Fearless early days, country days, that they would be bullied for liking Taylor. And then we got to the 1989 era, and then it became the cool thing to like Taylor. And then everyone canceled her before rep. And then it again became, oh, you're a fan of Taylor. And it's like, how are we back here where people are being made fun of for the kind of music that they like to listen to? Like, if you don't like to listen to it, just don't listen. I'm so sorry that anyone is making you feel bad about this. As you've already pointed out, Taylor has many songs to speak to the haters, like Mean or Thank You, Amy. She also said something along the lines of, in her NYU graduation speech that she gave, that you don't want to be the kind of person who's making someone else feel bad about being excited about something. I'm so sorry that this is happening to you. I'm getting fired up as I'm talking about it, if you can't tell. And I'm glad that you have us to be able to listen to and share your Taylor fandom with. I hope that you end up being able to connect with other Swifties. Know that you are part of a huge fandom, and there is nothing wrong with you liking Taylor's music.
I like to think that listening to Taylor is part of a rebellion, especially these days. So, just consider yourself part of the squad, because it's a pretty cool group to be a part of, in my personal, very biased opinion.
Our next submission is from Caitlin. Hi, Ryan and Molly. I'm in 8th grade, 13 years old, but I started getting into Taylor's music in 6th grade. I really only listened because I wanted to fit in, as all the other girls in my grade listened to Taylor. I started off with basic songs, especially 1989, but was amazed by the types of music I found. Every day I would discover a new song that I didn't even know existed. I was shocked when I first listened to songs like Wonderland, King of My Heart, The Way I Loved You, and so many more. I never thought I would relate to music as much as I did, but I learned that Taylor is so much more than just pop.
By the release of TTPD, I knew almost every song, and I started watching the Eras Tour live streams in Europe. The community I found was something I've never even dreamed of. At school, the girls would leave me out, make small comments, and overall just be so passive aggressive. Something I couldn't understand, as I was always one of the youngest kids in the grade. But online, I was just one of the fans. I wasn't pretty or ugly. I wasn't cool or weird. I wasn't smart or stupid. I was just a part of the lovely fandom we call Swifties.
After I turned 13, I started listening to the lyrics of songs and realizing that they are so much more than just sounds. They are deep, serious poems about all sorts of problems everyone has, but no one understands. understands. Taylor could take the simplest annoyance and turn it into an art that speaks to millions. Because of Taylor, I write poems every day to try and understand my feelings. Taylor's music has gotten me through friendships, relationships, and fights. I'm so much more mature now, and I don't even remember who I was before Taylor. People in my grade stopped listening to Taylor and thought she was uncool, but I didn't care. I stopped listening to them and started listening to the Swifties, people like me who really understand who I am.
Some songs that really affected me included Now That We Don't Talk, because I went through a bad friendship breakup in 7th grade that I don't think I will ever be over. Another one I love is You're on Your Own, Kid, because I'm an oldest child and will forever feel a bit alone. I especially love the bridge to You're Losing Me. It describes my life perfectly. I've also found I Hate It Here super relatable. I'm always daydreaming. All in all, I don't know who I would be without Taylor. She has brought me into my first teenage year and made me think about things from more than just my perspective. Her songs are incredible, and the way she carries herself is even better. I love you two so much, and I can't wait to watch every single video. Thank you so much for including me. Man, all these young Swifties making me feel some type of way. Caitlin, okay? Thank you so much for watching and listening. I feel so honored, and you sound insanely mature, okay? You have perspective that takes, I feel like, decades to gain. I can relate. When I was around your age, I also was bullied and left out, and it really sucks. But I'm so happy that you have Taylor's music, because I didn't have that back then. It sounds like you're really using it to channel a lot of productive things, but also the songs that you referenced, the bridge of You're Losing Me, and Now That We Don't Talk, and all these like grown songs that you're like connecting to. I'm like, oof, girl.
Thank you so much for writing in, Caitlin. Two things that I want to note from your submission is that, one, this is almost the opposite of the one we just read, because you became a Swiftie because it was the cool thing. And then all of a sudden it became uncool, and you were like, well, I actually really like this. So I just think that that's a really interesting, contrasting experience. And good for you for sticking with what you like, even if it became uncool. You know, I've still got the side part. I still wear skinny jeans sometimes. Don't tell Ryan. But, you know, you kind of stick to the things that make you happy, whether they're trendy or not. And the second thing is that this is another example of how Taylor has inspired this generation of Swifties to channel things into art. You're writing poetry every day to try and understand your own feelings at 13? Mind blown. Like,
it couldn't be me.
Yeah, that is amazing, and good for you for finding this way to express yourself. I'm just so impressed.
And also finding solace in the community that is the Swifties. Yes, you were correct. That is, we've said it a million times, that is half the fun of having this podcast, is talking to people like you guys, because y'all are so dang cool. And again, I know I'm biased, but being a Swiftie is just, it just hits different, you know? And so happy. So happy you're here. And
you mean it hits different?
Nailed it. Dang, that was like the best I've ever sounded.
Our last submission is from Delia. Delia writes in, my name is Delia and I'm 12 years old. I've been a Swiftie for going on 5 years. I had depression last year because I felt like I was hanging out with the wrong people. Those people started bullying me and I lost all my other friends because I was a jerk and I was trying to be cool with these new friends. When TTPD was released, I felt seen. The song, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, the lyrics, I'm so depressed, I act like it's my birthday every day, was so relatable because I was. And I did. I Can Do It With a Broken Heart is still my favorite song to this day. This year, I have all my friends that I lost last year, and I stopped hanging out with the new friends who were bullying me.
Man, another young, insightful Swiftie, Delia. I'm so glad that you have your old friends back and that you realized, you know, sometimes hanging out with the cool kids isn't the cool thing to do. I'm also glad that Tortured Poets made you feel seen.
And I Can Do It With a Broken Heart is a song that I know Ryan and I relate to a lot. It's the classic Taylor bop of like, oh, this song's upbeat, but the lyrics are kind of sad. Not kind of sad. She says she's depressed. It's pretty sad. And if you're watching, sad. I'm like bopping right now. If you're listening, you're probably like, what's Molly doing with her voice? I was literally thinking about this song today because, and the line, I'm so depressed, I act like it's my birthday, and then I cry a lot, but I'm so productive, because I had a bad mental health day today. I don't usually cry that often, but I cried today and I thought to myself, I'm crying a lot and not being productive. Get it together. Taylor would want me to at least be productive.
The least you can do if you're gonna cry, do something about it, or while you're doing it. Yeah, man, the line fake it till I make it, and I did, like, we all know about that struggle, man. That song is, it's a classic Taylor bop that, like, if you actually like slow it down and listen to it, you're like, dang, this is kind of sad and deep, but also an anthem that all of us can relate to.
Thank you again to everyone who wrote in: Alana, Charlotte, Caitlin, and Delia. We can't thank you enough for sharing these stories. We know that it's probably hard to share stories about being bullied or feeling like you don't fit in, and we're here for you. I hope you feel supported by the Swiftie community, and you know that you don't have to go through this alone.
I feel so honored and grateful that all of y'all feel comfortable enough to share all these stories with us. And for those watching on YouTube, go show our girls some love in the comments. We want to support our young Swifties and let them know that this is a safe space and all are welcome here.
And if you want to share your Tay Therapy story with us, you can write in a submission or send us a voice memo. We have a couple voice memos that we're going to be playing on a future episode. How to do that will be linked to in the description of this episode, as well as where to join our Patreon or our YouTube memberships. Thank you so much for watching and for listening. Bye.
Bye. Yes. I'm so depressed I act like it's my birthday every day.